bottled in majestic mountains. Liquid Death Mountain Water will murder your thirst.
This is Liquid Death, a quirky and hip new beverage company that has become one of the fastest growing beverage brands in history. It's currently valued at $700 million.
Is now worth an estimated $700 million.
$700 million?
Making it 70% of a unicorn status, and has Wiz Khalifa and Tony Hawk as early investors. The brand is on track for annual revenue north of $120 million. It's the most followed water brand on TikTok and the second most followed water on Instagram. To put it into context, it took Celsius 12 years and Monster 4 years to reach the same level of retail success Liquid Death has had in just 3 years. So what do they sell exactly? Water in beer cans. That's literally it. And out of the 231 water brands launched recently, Liquid Death is the #1 seller among them all.
Unbelievable? Well, you watch this.
The idea started with this guy. A former advertising creative director, Mike Cesario, is currently the co-founder and CEO of Liquid Death. The company is the result of everything Mike has done. Mike played in punk and heavy metal bands, which has influenced Liquid Death's branding. He then got into the ad business, making ads for Nestle, Netflix, and Gary Vaynerchuk, where he got to the marketing experience needed to pull off a brand like Liquid Death.
Hey, why not? My own business. All you need is a little capital, a little push, and an idea.
At the 2008 Warped Tour, he noticed energy drink companies heavily sponsor rock bands and rock tours. However, when speaking to the bands, he learned that although they were advertising energy drinks, they weren't drinking the stuff. Instead, they would fill their energy cans with water so they could keep hydrated while promoting the energy drinks. In reality, all the craziest, funniest, most badass people in the world drink water. So what if you took something healthy like water and put a cool spin on it? This led him to create a water brand that revolves around a marketing construct, a brand about branding, a beverage that musicians and athletes could actually drink from and promote at the same time. Because the idea was so crazy, Mike knew he needed to validate the idea before moving forward. He shot a commercial for $1,500 and spent $3,000 on paid Facebook ads. Within 3 months, Liquid Death had amassed more Facebook followers than Pepsi-owned Aquafina, and the ad had 3 million views. This not only validated his crazy idea, but generated interest in the product from retailers. He used this traction to raise a small round of funding from friends and family to fund his initial order worth $250,000.
It always throws me off. I think it's beer, and then I'm like, no, that's water.
Right.
But why the name?
And why is it in a can?
Designed to look like a tall boy with heavy metal inspired branding, Liquid Death's goal was to make drinking water cool, similar to the strategy of Virgin, who took a boring airline business and made it fun. Liquid Death's strategy is simple: give a boring product awesome branding. All the funniest and memorable ad campaigns are done for junk food, alcohol, and energy drinks. Healthy foods are never marketed with the same enthusiasm and are generally marketed by preaching the health benefits.
Work out, plenty of rest, eat your green vegetables.
Instead of listing features about their water, Liquid Death wants to create a brand that people can relate to and laugh with. The seemingly reckless and irreverent branding is very thought through. When we do branding and positioning for a new product, we often do what's called a white space analysis, or brand positioning, where we look at factors such as design, messaging, and pricing from all of the competitors in the category and see what ideas are already owned and what ideas can be owned by a new brand. For example, plotting healthiness on the x-axis and badassness on the y-axis, Liquid Death's white space analysis would look something like this. Coca-Cola and Red Bull would be somewhere here, while LaCroix and Tropicana would be here. Mountain Dew, 7-Up, and Gatorade could be somewhere here. This space, where no company has yet claimed, is known as the white space. Liquid Death's branding and positioning, the brand that makes drinking water cool, would be somewhere here and is miles from the nearest brand on the beverage's white space analysis. In a category that is so often about health and vitality, Liquid Death instead talks about demons, death, murdering thirst, and killing plastic.
Murder your thirst.
Where consumers might usually see mountains and Alps, we hear of Earth's underworld. Where the water category's conventional colors are white and blue, Liquid Death chose black as its primary brand color. And if the dominant emotion in the industry is about tranquility and health, the brand instead makes water sound exciting, dangerous, and pretty weird. In the book 0 to 1, PayPal co-founder Peter Thiel inspires all companies to build a better future by becoming monopolies. He suggests that your business should race to the top and become one of a kind. because that will allow you to set your prices high enough so you can invest more time in more innovating and help society advance. Liquid Death has created a monopoly by creating an entirely new market and positioning their brand based on their identity. The visuals, messaging, and personality of the brand was made to attract a certain group of people who were previously not targeted within the same space and who believed there should be a better way to consume water. Searching for points of difference is nothing new. Subway offers healthier meals than other fast food chains because its sandwiches have fewer grams of fat. Nike has used professional athletes to support the brand's claim of superior performance in athletic shoes, rather than relying on attributes such as unique technology in product design. With Liquid Death, the point of difference between it and other bottled water companies is purely in marketing. It's truly a victory of design and marketing. By marketing water in a way that's never been done before, Liquid Death directly taps into a proven psychological quirk known as the von Restorff effect, also known as the isolation effect. This phenomenon describes our tendency to remember the things that stand out from the crowd. Simply put, we're drawn to the unusual, and the water category doesn't get more unusual than Liquid Death. Another achievement the company has accomplished is that more than 50% of people who buy water through Liquid Death's site also attach a merchandise to their order, which is a great indicator of brand loyalty and shows a potential for Liquid Death becoming a lifestyle brand. It's using hype as a relatively new company to acquire cool status, thus becoming the cool new brand that people want to associate themselves with. Merchandise has always been a part of Liquid Death's marketing strategy. The company started selling t-shirts just a few months after launch. What started as a marketing expense has now become a revenue driver with great margins. Liquid Death brought in nearly $45 million in sales last year, and $3 million of that came from merchandise. Liquid Death says that merchandising and apparel will play a larger role in the company's future strategy. Currently, Liquid Death has more than 100 SKUs of merchandise ranging from $14 dog toys to $500 mini fridges to $6,000 original vending machines. Last year, the company sold 100 skateboards in which the actual blood of industry legend Tony Hawk had been mixed into the paint. The skateboards, priced at $500, sold out in under 20 minutes. Another quirky characteristic of the company is their ability to embrace hate. They've released 2 greatest hates albums on Spotify with song lyrics derived from angry and negative comments they received online. By turning social media hate comments into songs and marketing materials, they embrace and use this negativity to their advantage. Liquid Death might be taking a funny and playful approach when marketing itself, but the brand is serious about one thing, which is killing plastic, hence opting to use aluminum cans instead of plastic bottles. Aluminum cans are arguably more environmentally friendly than boxed or bottled water. This is partly because plastic comes from petroleum or natural gas, most of which is never recycled and is not biodegradable. Consequently, plastic ends up in landfills or else in nature, whereas data shows that about 70% of aluminum cans can be recycled, hence less likely to pollute the environment. At the same time, the brand donates 10% of the profits from each can to help kill plastic pollution. Liquid Death is the perfect blend of a simple quality product with great marketing while also supporting a worthwhile cause. But things get murky diving deeper into whether aluminum cans are really better for the environment, as Liquid Death advertises. Compared to plastic bottles, aluminum cans might result in less ocean waste, but they also come with their own cost to the environment. The production of an aluminum can is estimated to release 2 times as much carbon dioxide into the air as a plastic bottle. Critics argue that the most ethical option is to avoid single-serving containers altogether and to drink from the tap using reusable filters or bottles. Another case against the company is the criticism about the branding itself. That the marketing of the brand is gendered validates questionable ideas about gender and uses toxic masculinity to market the product. Others argue that Liquid Death has merely done this by honing in on categories that traditionally target young men, such as energy drinks, craft beer, and punk, repurposing a marketing formula that's already proven to work. The final criticism against Liquid Death, which ties to its future, is whether or not it's just a gimmick. Liquid Death was built on the strength of one great joke. By Mark Cesario's own admission, the company's differentiator lies solely in marketing. But are jokes and savvy marketing really enough? Because here's the thing. When your product is just water, a product that falls from the sky, flows from the faucet, and comprises up to 70% of the Earth's surface, imagery and branding is everything. So even if the brand takes off, no one knows how far that will take you on its own. And critics point out that gimmicks only go so far. Mike Cesario doesn't agree with these limitations and takes issue with the notion that Liquid Death and pretty much everything is in fact a gimmick. To him, water is a category driven mostly by brand.
We buy into it to the tune of $12 billion a year, bottled water.
You may think it's somehow better for you, tastes better. But have you ever asked yourself, is it really?
He says Dasani and Aquafina are equally gimmicks. Purified tap water in cheap plastic bottles doing over $1 billion in revenue combined. He also points to energy drink brand Red Bull, which has expanded well beyond the beverage world into extreme sports like dirt biking or car racing through incredible branding. Liquid Death is aiming to replicate that in its own way by becoming a lifestyle brand. Merchandising for Liquid Death could also be an attempt to test the waters and branch out into other product categories. It's hard to predict how long this hype will last, considering the fact that merely having a great brand with no product differentiation is not a high barrier of entry. Mike Cesario might be better off hoping for an acquisition while the company is currently overvalued. In fact, Dasani and Aquafina have already copied the aluminum can idea. In a couple of years, the advantages Coca-Cola and Pepsi have over distribution could outweigh the cult-like loyalty of Liquid Death. Either way, there's no doubt that Liquid Death is moving people toward healthier and sustainable drinking options, not by preaching to them, but by entertaining them and making them a part of something bigger in culture. Healthcare is a category that can particularly benefit from the lessons Liquid Death provides. One of the lessons being that positive, healthy change doesn't have to be boring and artless. Liquid Death's strategy to make people laugh and get more of them to drink water is exactly the way we should be thinking about healthcare marketing. All healthcare brands market in more or less the exact same tone. They all want to be innovative, hopeful, considerate, and empathetic to the serious disease they're treating. And that has worked, but most of us would agree that they could be doing better. Who says healthcare brands need to act the way they do? Why not break the conventions and try something different? Be funny, be sarcastic, be edgy, be the opposite of what everyone expects. Liquid Death clearly is a brand that contradicts many of the marketing conventions and has fun doing it. But most of all, Liquid Death is a reminder that entrepreneurship is the art of creating a new business, not a new product, and that humans are hardwired to notice what's different, which is why brands that stand out from the crowd also stand to reap rewards. One of the rules of marketing is to capture people's imagination. To do so, you first have to capture their attention. We have another video on how attention is used in today's marketing world, which you can watch here. Thanks for watching till the end, and remember to subscribe.